Can you feel the love in here, y'all? How we doing? I know, oh, I see some of my favorites. How you guys doing? As you guys know, I'm Christina DeMuro. I teach here at Ocean Township High School. I've been blessed to be not only an advanced biology teacher, but to teach discovery science. And throughout my journey back to my heart, I have actually been inspired to find what we should be teaching our kids. And I've learned this through my trials and tribulations. My parents are sitting over here. They will take questions after if you guys really want to know how many times I've failed in my life. But the difference between some of the people who are most successful in life and to those we consider failures are those who have not given up. So I stand before you, going back to my journey to the heart, which was inspired about 6 years ago, following one of my biggest heartbreaks of my life. I lost my unconditional love source, my grandmother. And with that pain, I realized the power of how much love we really need in this world. Being a scientist, I have pretty much analyzed every mistake I have made. I have also wondered why things didn't work out the way I planned them to my entire life. Starting with what I wanted to be when I grew up. As you guys can see, I'm a very successful business person in New York City, making lots of money. To being, a singer, and that didn't work out for obvious reasons, but being an educator was something that I followed my heart to have. Followed my heart to have, and to be inspired by my students too. So again, bringing it back to my biggest heartbreak inspired my biggest sense of purpose in life. Seems to almost be counterintuitive. But there's a lot of paradoxes that we have in this world that we don't talk about. Every moment of every day, we are shown we can make a decision at any point, and we have two options. The energy behind that is two ways, whether it is love or fear. That is up to you. Now, I know that for most of my life, and if you guys can look at society for just a moment, and if you guys want to be really inspired, you can watch the news, and we can see how much controversy and turmoil our world is in. And this also reflects not only what our world is like, but what we are like inside. And again, through my failures and from looking at all the things that I've done wrong, because I was like, if I could just figure out that missing piece, I could have it all. And we do. We get everything. We graduate, we get the career, we get the degree, but at the end of the day, what happens when we're not happy? That seems to be the going question. We're spending millions and millions of dollars every day trying to be happy by buying things or by being with people or by pursuing something. But what we're missing is we're not listening to our heart. See, each one of us has been born with a job that we're sent here to do, to share from our passion. And we have started putting walls up and disconnecting ourselves because we've been hurt. So instead of using our pain as our power, we're using our pain as a reason why we are no longer trying. And we've given up. We've disconnected. We've turned all of our passions into reasons why we can't do things anymore. They become now our excuses instead of the reasons why we will succeed. And I've seen it firsthand in some of my students, and I've seen it in everyone I have come across. Anybody who has any type of pain, anybody who's angry or upset or feels like they've been rejected, it's because someone's broken their heart. It starts at childhood. When you're being a child and a baby, you see them, the sense of joy and happy. They could look at their hands for hours and still not figure out why. They have that amazement, that awe that we're all searching for. So how do we go from that to being disconnected and thinking separation or thinking isolation? Or thinking no more human connection is the answer. That's not the answer. That's one of those paradox things that I told you about. And in honor of one of my favorite men, Albert Einstein, who said creativity is the answer to all. And that imagination is more powerful than all the knowledge we could have. We have to start living in this life. So again, like I said, from my biggest failures, I was an advanced bio teacher, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, if I can just learn every single aspect of biology, then they'll listen to me, right? They'll want to know, and they'll be so curious, and they're going to want to know what photosynthesis is and the Krebs cycle, and they're going to love it. And then I gave them that information, and they were like, and I was like, oh, this is not the way. This is not the way. Because you cannot have someone excited about something they don't understand. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to inspire, and inspire comes from the word in spirit, and that is when you are fully present with who you are. And how do we find out who we are? We have to stop. Now, if you didn't notice, my background, which was designed by a dear friend of mine, is here to remind us of how we stop. So we have all these senses. We have all these abilities to see all the wonders of the world. We have this ability to hear some of the most beautiful music that was ever created. We have these mouths that can taste some of the most delicious, beautiful foods from anywhere. And we're not using them the right way. Instead, we're disconnecting. We're eating stuff that's who knows what's made out of. We're watching things that are full of terror and violence, and we're expecting to feel high vibrations of joy, bliss, inspiration, creativity. They don't come from these sources. We're speaking words that we don't even understand. We're speaking hate and violence. I mean, but if you look away from the fear and turn to the love, you can see some of the magic some of our kids are doing. From today, looking what they're doing with pro-peace and pro-love and fighting for what they believe. They know that they are the change that we need in this world. But the thing is, we can't just expect them to change it all. We have to show up for them. So I ask you today to ask yourselves, how are you showing up? Are you showing up for them? Are you showing up 100%? Are you showing up as your best self? Or are you letting those old stories from that boy you didn't pay attention to in 5th grade and how mad you are? Don't worry, I have a Kevin too, okay? Who ruined my elementary school. I have one too. Or that prom date, or this person who said something against you. Why are you giving them your power? We are put here to share. Storytelling is some of the most powerful stuff we have in this world. You can see it with Jack and with Mr. Ippolito, what they've done. We're all here sharing our passion to help you show up in your life. Now, whether you're a student, whether you're a parent, whether you're a person of the community, you have a gift that you are here to share. Whether you acknowledge it or not, that is up to you. But I'm telling you that if you do show up and you start being brave, magic will unveil. And I'm sure of it because I've seen it. And I have 49 students that I taught this semester, and I could show you videos that would bring you to your knees of some of the pride that I have felt for them and what they are becoming. And shout out to you guys for being here. I love you. Now, when I first started teaching, it was a funny thing because I was told you cannot show a smile until November if the school year started in September. Especially being an advanced student, they have to know that you have no soul and no feelings, and you must move like this. And you must hand out tests, and they must show you how smart they are by choosing A through D. But I think that we're at this place now in time where we're starting to see that that's not the answer. Technology is the future, as Mr. Ippolito said. But if it is guided by the right energy, if it is guided by love, we can make some things really happen. Whether it is enhancing the lives of others, enhancing our own life, enhancing society, we have all the answers. We know it all. We've been living in our minds forever. Now, I know that we think the mind is the most powerful thing, and don't get me wrong, it is super important. But did you know that we have 50,000 to 85,000 thoughts per day? And out of those thoughts, guess how much are positive? 100%, right? If you're Mr. DeMuro, no. 85% are negative. So we're walking around in this world with 50,000 to 85,000 thoughts, most of them negative, and we're wondering why that guy who just cut us off, we know that he's a jerk. We know he did that all day waiting for us. He was there. He was trying to mess up our mornings, right? And that's what we'll focus on. We'll go to work and we'll tell Kathy, Kathy won't believe what happened. This guy cut me off. Can you believe this? And we'll tell that story continuously until it's evolved into a 15-minute conversation where everyone's telling you how terrible their morning was. But can you blame us? That's how we're wired. So how do we get out of that habit? We have to come back to our heart. We have to come back to the thing that lights us up in the morning. And most of you guys have experienced it, especially if you're adults and have children. If you actually, the joy of having a baby. They say, you know, the opposites are in the world. Where you have great joy, you're going to have great pain. And where you have comfort, you're going to have discomfort. And when you have ease, you'll have dis-ease, right? Or that's what we think we will have, right? So instead of becoming this nation or this world that's obsessed with figuring out how we can fix things after they've already been broken, sorry, it's me again. What happens if we start figuring out how we can prevent that from happening? If I knew what I knew when I was 17 years old today, woo, let me tell you, some things would have been a lot more easier. My parents would have been saved a lot of hardship too, and probably money, thanks to Tom and Linda. Shout out. Okay, so if we could get back to that space where we actually can remember what we're passionate about, what drives us, what is getting us excited, and start filling our senses with that stuff, let's bring back the old school. What is this music our kids listening to? Let's be real. Where's the love songs? Where's that old soul music? I mean, I was blessed by my parents to play the violin when I was in 4th grade. I'm sure I wasn't excited at the time, but I knew I was doing it for a reason. And that reason was to keep me in touch with who I was, to be present. We have our students playing sports. We have them acting and seeing Jack, his speech. Oh my goodness, talk about opening from my heart. When we find those sources of inspiration, there is nothing that can stop us. There is no time. There is no person talking. Of course there's going to be haters. You think everyone was nice to me saying that I'm going to make this happen? No, but they aren't what I focus on. See, I changed my focus and I started believing in what I knew to be true, because I started asking myself, what am I here for? And then I got blessed and I looked at my students every day and I said it's for them. And because they were my sense of love. When I felt like everything else was missing in my life, I showed up for them until I believed in myself. And I always tell them, I go, no matter what, you know I believe in you, because it only takes one person to inspire somebody to believe in themselves. And if we can start doing that for each other, for our youth, for our communities, imagine the world we could live in. Imagine a world, instead of drama and hate, we have encouragement and joy. Instead of gossip and girls feeling shame for their bodies and feeling like they're not good enough, we start acknowledging their worth early on. Imagine if we told the boys it's okay to be sensitive and it's okay to love, and you don't have to be so hard all the time, and I feel your pain, I see you. Imagine what that man's going to be like when he gets older. These are the things we need to start inspiring into our kids, into ourselves. We need to start healing our hearts so that we can be all that we know we can be. And all I ask of you guys to do is just say to yourselves when you leave here today, am I showing up from my heart or am I showing up from my mind? And you will know, because if you get that fire, that burn, that sense of courage and bravery, and no matter what, you're going to make this happen, that is how you know you're coming from your heart. And again, it's a journey. Does that mean it's easy? No, it does not. Okay? It does not. It doesn't mean you're not going to fall down. It doesn't mean that the world's going to seem like it's all against you. But then what's going to happen is if you believe and you have faith in yourself, what's going to happen is you're going to get an email from a student telling you that you're doing a great job. Your mom's going to text you telling you she's so proud of you. You're going to see the sky open up and that sun's going to actually be there. You're going to get that phone call from a friend that you were just thinking about. See, something that Albert did teach us was that everything is energy. Whether you believe it or not, I'm coming from a science brain, guys. If I didn't see it, I didn't believe it. But what happens to if you can feel it? Does that make it real? So I think we need to start focusing instead of seeing everything. Because I can't see any of you right now, but I know you're there. Why? Because I can feel it. Because I can feel it. And I know you guys can feel it too. So it's time to start showing up in our world the way that we're meant to be. Imagine the lives you can change. It only takes one, guys. And again, your greatness is limitless. There is no, look at some of the people who have accomplished the things they did. Albert Einstein, for one, wasn't verbal until 5 years old. Oprah Winfrey, multi-billion-dollar woman. Do you know where she came from? She got fired from TV. They told her she wasn't good enough. But what's the difference between her and somebody else? She got up anyway because she knew in her heart what she was supposed to do. And thank God, because she is one of my mentors. And I can't thank the people that show up on a daily, and I know you guys are here, and I thank you so much. Whether you're a parent, like I said, giving unconditional love to your kids, whether you're a student showing up no matter what, even if you didn't know all the things that you thought you know, but you're being brave to share, I thank you. And I thank all of you for being here, for supporting us, for us sharing our stories, and again, for listening to your heart. Thank you so much.